You're listening to the Super League Pod, coming up on episode 141 of your favourite Rugby League podcast. We've got everything you've come to expect. Feedback and shout-outs, news from around the world of Rugby League. We'll be looking back at round 13 of the Super League and the weekend's international fixtures, as well as previewing the upcoming round of Challenge Cup play. And we give you a quiz with an international feel. Strap yourselves in. Now then, lads, it's time for your favourite Rugby League podcast, the Super League Pod. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 141 of the Super League Pod, a day later than advertised, but we're back, refreshed and recovered, ready to bring you all things Rugby League. Tom here, and as always I'm joined by the very accommodating in terms of his time, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Tom? I have some concern. I mean, your Facebook post was a little bit more graphic than I was expecting it to be.
Well, at that point I was a little bit out of it.
But we're better now.
Better is a strong word. I would say I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go. We'll power through, let's just say. There's a bit of a scrimmage going on in my innards at the minute, but we'll be there. I didn't want to let the guy. I can't let the people down 2 nights on the trot. We can't not do a podcast. So
no, trot being the operative word.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I'm living on aired water at the minute.
So other than the bug, what's been going on?
What's been going on? It's been a long time, hasn't it? It's been a pretty decent week, really. Nothing mega exciting's been going on. Work's fine. Private life fine. Saw my daughter for the first time since Disney yesterday, and she's here now, so that's nice to have her back. Probably the highlight of the week was a little christening that was at on Sunday afternoon. That's been about it, really. Just been a quiet few days, thank the Lord, because I think if it had been too much busier, then I would have been in real trouble yesterday. How about yourself?
Well, last night, because we didn't have a show, I had to go at yoga. Right. And this isn't something I do very often, but I'm getting a bit unfit and stuff. And Emma has like a DVD or whatever. So
is it like Charlotte Crosby, Geordie Shore yoga?
No, it was some official yoga knobheads. Because
so they're called yogis. I think is it yogis?
Whatever they're called, right?
What about this? Reach out for the picnic basket.
Every time I was getting into a not normal position and thinking this is hard, I'm pushing it as far as I can. Some bloke could pop up saying, "For the real flexible people, you can try this move," and then it'd like literally be twisting himself in two backwards and then giving himself a reach around all the way around.
Wow.
And I'd be like, it was not relaxing because he was winding me up so much.
Well, that's not meant to be relaxing. It is meant to be like physical exercise, isn't it?
But then you're doing all your breathing and at the end you're supposed to sort of like come out of it slowly. Well, I was just resenting this man at that stage. Are
you trying to find like holistic ways to cope with Wigan's terrible form at the minute? Because it's mostly out of injuries, don't you?
No, I'm just really unfit for me. And what I found out is I am literally as inflexible as I've ever been.
Yeah.
So
it's nice to know that you're physically
inflexible.
Fair enough. Well, good luck with yoga, mate.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm gonna give it too much of a hard crack.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see how we go.
Have you heard of the
I've just been watching I've seen like Wigan went and did it and other sports people. I don't get it though.
Get yourself down like Rubioli in the steam rooms, mate.
Yeah,
hot yoga.
I'll cope with.
It's not what
arguing with the man on the TV.
It's not what I thought it was when I googled it. I thought we were going to get some sort of link to an adult website. It's not what we got.
Right. Isn't that just the Kama Sutra?
Hot yoga.
But other than that, watching Rugby League, really.
Very good. Okay, well, that's us brought us up. So we've had a pretty dull week, really, haven't we?
Literally done nothing else.
We had a quiet, normal few days. So, some people that we know have been getting in touch with us and telling us about their thoughts and feelings about this podcast, Mark. So, who has been getting in touch this
week? Plenty of stuff. We'll start with Darts at Mitchell Darts. Give him a go on Twitter. He said, top lads, got 5 of the most capped players, went totally blank on a few.
There you go.
So that was about the same as you, weren't it?
Somewhere in there. I think we had to split a few.
I've got a nice 10-pointer coming up tonight.
I'm as unprepared as I ever am for that.
Paul Michael Craig at PaulMac_78 if you want to follow the thunder from down under. He said, another great ep. Cacked myself thinking about Dr. Bob Phillips humming Sade in the... Whatever.
Come on, Sade.
There's no H in it. Sade in the theatre. Also, does Mark have stepdad issues? Yeah, I pulled the curtain back a little bit far there, didn't we?
You did. Well, there you go.
I went beyond where the joke was meant to start and end at.
Speaking of jokes that are meant to start and end, you've just done what Brad Pitt does in Seven. There's a little joke in there where Morgan Freeman recommends he reads the Marquis de Sade, and he passes it in the book, and Brad Pitt goes, "What's this? The Marquis de Sade?" So you're in fairly salubrious company there.
Good stuff. Alan Walker says, at Alan Paul Walker on Twitter, he's changed his profile pic on Twitter back to him donning the Super League pod jersey on the Barcelona shoreline.
That's
great
with
stuff.
pride, yeah.
He says, another top ep, not all long-haired stepdads are bad though.
Not far from it, Al.
Yeah.
You're alright in our book.
I eventually never actually had a long-haired stepdad, so it didn't work out well, but it didn't happen that far. Phil Nadin at V8.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm not laughing at your trauma or your troubles. Just that it keeps coming up.
I know. I can't help it. I keep.
It's like having a stone in your shoe, isn't it? Just as soon as you think it's gone, no, I'm trying to do it again. Let's see if it comes up again this week.
Phil Nadin says, #now then lads, listening to a double whammy podcast that I need to catch up, enjoying my brew in Tom Crook's home city of Bradford.
Fantastic, he gets around that boy, doesn't he?
He drives for
exactly, there you go. That was good to see he wasn't having anything stronger than a brew at that time of day though, that's a relief. He's moonshine next week for Phil, isn't it? I imagine him having like a still in his bathroom that he sort of does his own moonshine and liquor with now. Fill up his hip flask.
Nothing shot bought strong enough for the kid.
No, exactly. He's graduated to brewing his own now.
Dr. Bob Phillips says, well done lads, another really enjoyable episode. Laughing on the street before 7 may get me committed. Sadly, I don't do chop and stitch, just sit around and natter and sign prescriptions mainly. So what he's saying is he isn't a student.
He's not a cutter.
He isn't a surgeon, sorry. Yes. God, your insides might be mushed up, but my brain is, Tom, for this extra day delay. We're all over the show. But Brendan Loftus says, #now then lads.
Good man.
Thanks for another great pod. Don't forget Tommy Martin. He never played for England when he and Long were ripping up Super League. Cheers. Yeah, we have a few more on this, so I'll roll through them. Brian Davies always gives us great knowledge. Said, I'm one of the few Brits who saw Briers play for Great Britain live. One game versus France in 2001.
I suspect that's Ajon.
Whatever. My first rugby league trip...
Again, come on, at least make some effort to pronounce it.
My first rugby league trip abroad. Brough did play for England against the Exiles once. The year after his best form, unfortunately, Martin was good. Then, I know, we're done. Yeah, so I was vaguely... Last week I was sort of thinking Brough had played a game against the Exiles, but I didn't want to say it in case I was wrong, and I didn't have the inclination to look it up whilst we were on the fly, to be honest, because it was just a natter.
Yes.
But yeah, I think they're all good candidates. No one else has jumped out to me.
No, I've been racking my brains.
Tommy Martin is the one we neglected to mention, who I've actually always said should have been given a go if they were doing the revolving door of halfbacks for that sort of period between 97 and now.
Yeah.
He certainly in that first 5 years of that period deserved a go.
Certainly. Now I'm going to get picked apart a little bit for my inaccuracies.
Well, Dom Hodgson at The Hodge says, now then, lads.
Well done.
If we're going to get James Child's name right, let's get the name of Disneyland Paris right. It's not been Euro Disney since 1995. Also, the Magic Kingdom Park is in Florida, not Paris. Read Tom's recommendation. Highly recommend going to Disney without kids. Those little fuckers don't half slow you down.
There you go. I'm sorry. Well, I don't have the breadth of Disney knowledge or, dare I say, enthusiasm that Dom has. It's one of
we
his
discovered
particular
he was
niche interests.
Big Disney nerd.
Big Disney fan. So I will defer to his wisdom. pretty sure everyone kind of knew what I meant. If I said Euro Disney to people, very few people were going, well, as a matter of fact, you will need a time machine to get there, sir, and do all that. So
I'm pretty sure...
I'm just going to stand my ground a little bit on that one.
I'm pretty sure when I went, it might have been about 1995, and I'm sure it was still Euro Disney. I think it was still Euro Disney.
Was there a pall over the place during that such a transitional time in terms of the branding? Or did you...
I don't remember it that well. I was about 10. And it was one of them holidays where you go in a car to France, and we decided to go camping in France, down at the bottom of France, and then go to Euro Disney.
Is it called the South for the geography pedants amongst us?
Whatever.
Down at the bottom of France.
Yeah, and it wasn't a journey that worked out well in all ways. So Disney wasn't that magical.
Right. Dare I ask which of your family members were in that car with you?
Well, it
wasn't your Uncle Liam.
It was the last family holiday that we had before my parents separated, if that gives you a clue.
Hashtag blame Disney.
And the car broke down a few times, which obviously caused great
consternation.
Yeah, warmth between my already sparring parents.
Wow.
God, I'm really breaking into like therapy situation here.
If I was a nicer bloke, I'd offer you a shoulder to cry on, but
it was 20 odd years ago.
You've bounced back quite well, I would say, since then.
I've moved on a little bit.
Yeah, just a touch.
But all this talk, you're a Disney At Alfie Wolf says,
well, yeah, there's a bit more here.
Just like Erin at Disneyland, well, I think you'll
Disneyland
find
Paris, actually.
Yeah. No. Just like Erin at Disneyland, I'm so happy my hero of the podcast world gave me a mention, even though he has a potty mouth.
Is that me or you?
I have no idea.
I'm choosing to believe it's me.
I think it was.
I think it's probably you.
It's probably a little bit of sarcasm either way, isn't it? But nice of him to get in touch. Still waiting for his first game review of the season.
Always good to hear from Darren.
Yeah.
I half expected him to get one in this week, but
it's strange, isn't it? It's strange, isn't it? As long as he doesn't mention like refereeing decisions if he didn't know what.
Don't stop! Will you stop doing this? Right, next one. Brian Davies, 12. What's this guy to say?
Why prioritise Sam Williams? Of Wakey's three halves, he's been the third best so far. Scratching Shed 2, which is Phil Kaplan, isn't it? Has a thing for him too. Do you know what? It was you who said this, weren't it? And I was going to pull you up on it at the time and actually say Jacob Miller. Yeah. But I thought no one would care, so why dwell on it? But we do have some Wakey fans, and it is a good point. Sam Williams hasn't been cutting it up like we expected him to, and he's been dropped now, hasn't he? So yeah.
I deprioritise him.
Yeah. Anyway, the Honourable at Langers38 said, with the news that the Toronto Wolfpack have a club tattooist and club hairdresser, what other roles should be created?
Oh, I had an idea about one, and I think I said it to you, but I've forgotten what I said now.
Well, I'd start with a disciplinarian.
Well, no, because that's just Paul Rowley all over, isn't it? He likes him to fight.
Yeah.
I suspect that's something that's being encouraged.
Yeah. It seems they've also brought in their own ultras.
Yeah, I saw the pictures as well. Ultras, plural. You're allowed, just about a plural, isn't it?
Well, there was about 10 of them, and they were there from the start, and half the crowd.
And they were into it. And they had, do you know what?
It filled up as it went along, and then it became quite the atmosphere, I guess.
In a really minimalist sort of way, they reminded me of the Oakland Raiders in terms of the colouring, flares and stuff like that. So, and good for them for promoting it. All the pictures of them through the streets of Toronto and stuff with the CN Tower in the background and stuff. That was really cool to see, to be honest. So,
totally
good for them. Absolutely good for them. And if you're listening, and by chance you're a Toronto Wolfpack fan of legitimate Canadian origin, please do get in touch with us and let us know your thoughts, because we'd love to hear.
Yeah, if you're new on board with the sport,
we'd probably get you on
our show.
Probably get you on the Dog and Bone and have you on the show as well if you're one of those nice Canadian chaps.
Yeah, because we need to make friends for like.
I'm not your friend, buddy.
When we go over.
Yeah, there you go. Right, exactly. Yeah, we need.
You're not my buddy friend.
I'm not your buddy guy. Right. Who's next?
We don't have any jobs then, do we?
Do any jobs
for the Toronto?
Oh, I'd have to go back. I did have a good one, but no.
Okay. Bernard JKD said, valid point that Fox do sod all to promote International Rugby League. Saturday's tests should be in Cook Islands, Tonga, etc., not Sydney.
Well,
we did get the tests wrong last week. The website I picked them off obviously wasn't the best at fact checking, and I didn't fact check myself.
Nice one, Sky Sports.
No, it wasn't. It was Bruiser's website.
All right, there you go. Look, I take your point. It would be nice to see those games played there, but I think you've got to pick your audience and putting it in Sydney puts you in the middle of that kind of specifically multicultural kind of area where there's people of Cook Island origin, of PNG in origin, of Tongan origin and what have you, and it brings them in. I suspect the further flung you get, the less likely you are to get the traction.
There was a game in Samoa last year, wasn't there? And I think it's more you've got to gradually build that up, but when you're sort of having a festival